Now more than 200 years old, Braille has become far more than a system of reading. For Kristy, learning music Braille at the age of 10 transformed a childhood love of piano into a lifelong passion. In a conversation with Amila Dedovich, BCA Communications Coordinator, Kristy shares her journey. We're excited to bring her story to you this World Braille Day 2026. And what inspired you personally to start learning music Braille?
I went to the Braille music camps and I had music at school and they had a teacher come and teach us Braille music and I loved it. I think I was 10 at the time when I started learning Braille music.
Right, so it's been a very long time for you then.
It has.
Have you been learning the piano since you were 10 as well, or did it start a bit
No, I
later?
started learning when I was 4.
So you mainly read music Braille for the piano then?
Yes.
Yes.
Or I can play the piano by ear as well.
Well, you mentioned a bit about music Braille. For people who aren't familiar, what is music Braille and how does it differ from, the regular Braille you might use to read?
Okay, well, the Braille music code is similar in some ways because you still use some of the contracted Braille, like the TH sign, the ED sign is used. Um, Also, some of your letters of the alphabet are used as well, but some of the different signs are different as well. It's a book that has been written by a blind man, Ian Cooper. He's passed away now, but he helped put it together, and you can get it through Vision Australia. I don't know if there's a price for it, but it's called Read, Sing, and Play, and that's a really good book to start with for people who want to learn it. Plus, I read Braille music, and I'm hoping to teach that.
Oh, well, can you walk me through the process of what it's like when you're learning a new piece of music?
If I'm learning it through Braille, I read it first. If I'm learning it by ear, I listen to it and then play it.
And you mentioned that you want to teach others music Braille, so I'm curious about what inspired that and what do you hope students will gain from that?
Well, I'm hoping that it'll give them a better outlook on life, and what inspired me is I've had experience teaching before, not only sighted people but blind people, and I really enjoyed it. So I want to pass on what I've actually learned.
And when was that initial experience when you got to teach?
2004.
Was that through a certain program or?
At the National Braille Music Camp, I was asked to help out one of the teachers who was learning Braille at the time, and she had some students and asked me to help out with teaching them.
And from there, your, I guess, love for teaching maybe sparked.
Yeah, I've taught sighted people when I was younger as well, and that inspired me to teach not only blind people but sighted people as well.
And how do you get your hands on these music Braille pieces?
I If I have the printed copy, I can send them through to Vision Australia because through the library they have a personal support. You can get up to 350 pages a year, or there is books in the library as well.
And if you could design your ideal Braille music teaching program or business, what would it be like?
I do want to use the book that I was originally taught with because that is a good resource to start with. And then what I'd do if people have started learning Braille music before they came to me, I'd find out where they're up to and then continue on from where they're left off with
Right.
their previous teacher.
So you're willing to kind of take on any skill level from beginner to more
Yes.
intermediate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thinking back on when you first started learning, I guess, music Braille and when you were 10 years old sitting in that classroom, what was that emotionally like for you?
I was excited actually to start learning it.
Are you still excited today, you would say?
Yes. Yes.
Would you be willing to learn any other instruments?
I've always been a I'd have always wanted to join a choir. And I used to join school choirs, and the National Braille Music Camp had a choir as well. So I'm hoping to do that again at some stage as well.
Beyond music, Kristy is an avid reader and enjoys connecting with friends through Braille focused social groups. She reflects on learning Braille as a child and what it continues to mean to her today. Well, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you first got interested in Braille?
Yes, I started learning Braille when I was 7 years old. Um, I was taught it at school and I really loved it. So I frequently use it for reading Braille music. I also read books in Braille as well.
Perfect. And how does Braille play a role in your everyday life?
I do a lot of reading and I'm also part of a Braille group that Vision Australia has.
And how long have you been part of that Braille reading group?
It's been 3 years now, I think.
Do you get a lot of enjoyment out of it?
Yes, a lot of friends as well.
Oh, in your time, using Braille throughout your life, are there any tools or tricks you've learned that make it easier to use day to day?
I found that now that having the Braille display as well, because I made a mistake, I ordered a book of in Braille a while ago, and it was one that I was recommended friends of mine. It had 55 volumes, which I didn't expect.
That is a lot of volumes. Have you gotten through most of it?
I got through all of it
Oh, wow.
because they were only thin. They were only thin volumes, but they were single-sided Braille instead of the interpoint Braille that they use.
Do you still think Braille is important in today's digital world? And what do you hope
Definitely.
people will understand about it that they might not now?
I think how technology changes, and now that you can access Braille through Braille displays, whereas when I first started learning, I was taught on a Perkins Brailler, which was a lot different to today. And I think having the professional Braille displays has more resources at your fingertips.
What was it like before? So for someone who might not be familiar with that system or tools that you had, how does it differ now?
Well, to get things into Braille, I had to have someone read them who was sighted, who learnt Braille to transcribe them into Braille. Whereas now I can access them using the Braille Note Touch Plus, and I can read it in my own time, you know, and keep like if I was doing study, I could keep up with the class as well.
So it's way less tedious, basically.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
For more information on learning Braille or about Music Braille, you can contact Vision Australia, Next Sense, Braille House, or the Australian Braille Authority. You can also be in contact with Blind Citizens Australia, and we can connect you with a relevant service.